Brilliant. Scottish Cup starting for your team this weekend. How's the squad looking from Tuesday night?
Yeah, we've only got James Forrest missing, so everyone back and available, which is great.
When you look to this game, it's the Scottish Cup. Sometimes in the fourth round, it's something where you can change a few things. But given the opposition, is this just you just treat it as a regular game?
Well, we would do that anyway, but of course it's a tough opponent that we're playing, so we're very mindful of that. Obviously Derek and his team would have had a good rest over this period as well. So, but no, listen. It's the start of a competition that this club is synonymous with, and we're very excited by that. So we've got an extra little bit of recovery, having played on Tuesday night. So yeah, everyone fit and ready and available for a tough game.
It's your trophy to defend. Mm-hmm. You said at the start of the season, as always, the aim is to win all the trophies here. Mm. Is this where your quest for the treble really starts, though, when this competition gets underway?
No, we're not defending it. We have to win it, and for that, we want to go in and attack the game and play to the level that we know we can. So, like you say, we've won trophy. We've got 2 more to aim for, and of course, it's the next game. So our focus is very much on looking to get it off to a good start in the competition.
We were speaking to Casper there, who says he watched the final last year and was taken aback by the sort of scenes at the end and all that sort of stuff. Is that the sort of fuel that can light the fire for players when they see what reward can come at the end of this Scottish Cup journey?
Yeah, it's an incredible occasion. Always comes on the back of a really long, arduous season with a lot of work. But that, as a game, it's a great climax to the season. And obviously, of course, if you win it, and like we did last season against a great rival, then it makes it extra special. So yeah, the final, if you can get to it and win it, then it can be a great end to your season.
In terms of Dyson coming back in, is that one that you may have to just nurse back in, or is he fully ready to hit the ground?
Yeah, he's fully ready to go if we need it. But I think for him it probably felt more like a little circuit breaker for him as opposed to a long injury. It was just something he hasn't been out so long. So and just watching him in training this week, he's looked good. So he's ready and available to start if we need that.
And just how difficult is it to balance Kilmarnock with, of course, a huge game next week against Young Boys as well? Is that one to keep an eye on?
Well, I think the beauty of it is that we have the rest. I think that over, if you look at our, games, like the last 7 games we've played in 20 days, the players have done so well, to manage a way through it. Of course, whenever you draw or lose a game at a big club like Celtic, it stings, there's no doubt. But generally over the 7 games, having 5 wins, a draw and only 1 defeat in that period, whenever the games are so tight, you're virtually playing just over every 2 days. The players have done really, really well. So we now have a little point where we have that extra day recovery going into Kilmarnock, and then we don't play till Wednesday. So that allows us to virtually reset again and come out of what that really, really, really tight, busy, hard schedule was. So from a physical perspective and a mental perspective, we'll be ready. And if we have to go team on a Saturday, team on a Wednesday, it won't be a problem for us.
When you look at it from the outside, Brendan, you're obviously you're well clear at the top of the league. You're going well in Europe, still well on track to achieve your objectives. But over the past few days, the players have had to deal with a wee bit of criticism. For the new guys who arrived at the club in the summer, is that a sort of a new thing, or a difficult thing for them to adapt to?
Yeah, I don't know because I haven't seen it, but if you can tell me what the criticism was.
Just of the performance on Tuesday night, the second half.
Okay. Yeah. But listen, we have to accept critics. But like I say, have a look at the bigger picture of what the players are coming off. I think that it's also respecting that there comes a point in a season whether any team, no matter how good a season you're having, or no matter how bad a season you're having, you'll hit a little bit of a wall. It's natural. It doesn't matter how good you've been playing or not. You're going to hit a little wall. And I felt that probably on Tuesday, on that 7th game in 20 days, was maybe that point. Listen, we have to accept the criticism, whether we like it or not. And I think, like I said, when you draw a game or lose a game at Celtic, it'll sting. But for us, it's all part of being at a big club. You have to accept it, whether you agree with it or not. We have to deal with that, and then move on to our next game, and that's what our idea is.
What are your hopes for Johnny Kenny in the second half of the season?
Well, initially for Johnny was to come back and for me to have a look at him over a few weeks. He's come in, he's done very well, and then we assess it from there.
A lot of transfer talk around Alex Bailly, perhaps changing a scenery for him. Where is he at the moment? What's that situation at the moment with him in terms of yourselves and what that means for yourselves in the rest of the window?
Yeah, he's still very much a player here. Lots of rumours around, lots of players and lots of moving parts, but at this very moment, Alex is here and getting ready for the game tomorrow. Is
there a kind of no decisions on anything like that made after the European games? Because obviously you can't change your European squad, so it's a case of any of that kind of stuff is put to bed until that point.
Yeah, I think there's numbers of decisions on players here, which certainly we've got work to do. Obviously the window is open for a little bit longer than the end of January, so that always gives time. We've got our game against Aston Villa and is the final European game, and then there's a little bit of time after that. So, but at this very moment in time, as I said, there's lots of sort of shifting pieces in it all, and we just manage that. But at this moment in time, Alex, and he's very concentrated. He's absolutely loved his time here, and he's been here, and he's been a fantastic young player for us. So I'm really happy with that, and we'll see what evolves over the course of the rest of the window.
Brendan, if a player like Alex was to leave, or any player really, would they have to be replaced straight away? You wouldn't want to go into the second half of the season with a player like?
No, there's absolutely no way that would happen. Obviously, with Alex coming in here on loan, I make a commitment to a young player to come in and play. He's loved his time here. He enjoys it here. He enjoys the football. He's become a Champions League player coming to Celtic, and he's in no rush to leave. However, if something was to change on that front, where he maybe not be getting the game time, then I have to be open and honest with him to let him understand this. But he knows absolutely the picture here, and like I said, my honesty and commitment will be with him first and foremost in terms of what the situation is.
It's actually, obviously you've had a lot of cup battles with Derek McInnes, both the times here as well. Is that the one you enjoy when you're going head to head against his teams? You're wary of everything that they do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Always a really good manager, Derek, who's got a lot of experience and especially up here knows what it takes to win games. So his teams are always difficult to play against. They're well organised, well motivated, will work very hard. We had a really tough game against them last time out, where they played very well. We had to stand up and be strong and defend well, but then showed the moments of quality needed to win the game. A totally different game coming back to our place. Obviously we played earlier on the season as well at home and played well and had a good scoreline, but it's a cup game, so we have to be ready to play against them, and they're a good side, and they'll be doing everything they can to get the result.
Brendan, do you think that they're going to sit deep, or do you think they'll take some encouragement from Dundee and try and come out at us a bit more?
Yeah, it just depends. It just depends. I think that probably the second half at Dundee, they had gave a little bit more pressure. If I'm looking at the game and being critical of us. We needed to play with a little bit more poise in our game and play through that, which we've done hundreds and hundreds of times, but we didn't do that. So I think there's always going to be moments of pressure you have to feel in a game. So whether that's at the beginning of the game where a team will feel they can go for you and push, or whether they sit off and are maybe behind in the game and then they feel they want to give everything to it. So I think whenever it comes, it'll come at some point. It's whether it's at the beginning, middle, or at the end of the game. But we have to be ready for that to manage our way through that.
Do you think having the 3 games at home is something we can build real momentum on?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think that, listen, we as I said earlier, we were on a really busy schedule there, and I think the players in the main have come out of it really, really well. I've said many times we love being at home, and we've got 3 really exciting games now, and in the various competitions, just to keep moving forward, and that starts with the Scottish Cup game tomorrow. So we're all excited by it and getting into the next round, and then we can prepare and get ready for a really big night on Wednesday.
Would you say, Brendan, you're still on track to add a few faces in this window?
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, I would. Yeah, there's been lots of work going on for numbers of months, but as you can imagine, it's never as simple when you actually then get to the point of getting the player in that you want, because there's various reasons why his club would want to maybe keep them. But I'm fairly confident by the end we can add that extra freshness and competition to the squad.
In a general sense, is that these extra Champions League games maybe creating a bit of delay in business taking place across Europe as well, with the teams that are still in Europe?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it, with the extra added games, and obviously remembering as well, if you sign players, they can't play in the Champions League. So you're then working with the players that you have currently then within your squad, and thankfully for us, touch wood, we don't have the injuries that maybe if another team has lots of injuries, then even more so why they would want to keep players back. So you just have to be patient. You'd always want to have a player in the very first day, but if it can't be the case, then somewhere along the January period we would hope to get them in then.